Imagine getting stepped on by solid metal blades. Not sure if you've noticed, but soft ground stud patterns have changed quite significantly over the years, going from very proprietary, sometimes even bladed designs to more universal screw-in shapes. With this 2002 Predator Mania with a soft ground stud pattern being a great example of all bladed metal studs, where if you look at the back, they actually have a little screw, which is how the studs themselves are connected to the base of the sole plate. In and around that same era, you would have also had the Nike Mercurial Vapor 2 that had a Nike snap system, where you can see there's a little slot along the side where with a tool you could kind of snap the studs in and out, still giving you that metal tip, but again, its own proprietary shape. Fast forward a few more years to 2006 and you had the soft ground layout of the Predator Absolute, which once again was metal blades with more of a snap-on system by way of this little slot on the side that allowed you to pull the studs off and of course snap them back into place. So what happened to all the variety? Why is every soft ground stud pattern effectively a variation of this design? Well, it really boils down to cost effectiveness, where when you consider that each of these studs actually has to be cast to a very specific shape, this allows them to only have a couple different castings to use universally across their entire line within multiple different models. They all connect to the sole plate the same way by way of screwing in, which at this point we can basically say for sure is the most reliable way of connecting a metal stud to a plastic sole plate. And because these studs are relatively universal, the support from generation to generation remains the same, meaning that if you have these boots for a couple years and the studs wear out and you want to get some new ones, this is the same stud that they're still producing, versus if this stud was only produced for 2 generations of Predator and then they changed up the design and stopped making them, once they wore out, you'd pretty much be out of luck for replacing the studs. In other words, not only is it less expensive for a brand like Nike to do it this way, it's also going to be less expensive for you, the consumer, in the long term, and ultimately the best way of doing a soft ground stud pattern in the volumes that soft ground stud patterns are currently in demand.